and at the peril of those around us. And that, yes, I have very, very large concerns.
What? He's acting like Poland is some backwater country, and you're gonna get murdered as soon as you step off the plane.
Yeah, once again, do you not think? Did I not ask you questions?
Because you called Dylan bad faith from the get-go.
Let's stop trying to act like a Giga Chat. It's not working. You've been soying out over this whole thing. And nobody has any respect for you right now. I'm telling you, you should take me out because you're just speculating on random you don't know about. You're just in here trying to ad hoc make it sound really good, and it's really not working.
No, I'm not
it's so transparently clear.
To ask a question of someone who is admittedly not a journalist, who admitted that they don't have. I've asked zero question on your on the stream of Madlad. We all saw these questions.
You're just fishing. You're just fishing.
No, I'm not fishing.
And then once you think you have like a valid concern, you just walk.
I'm sorry. I'm not done talking. You can interrupt me after I'm done talking. No, I'm not accepting you cutting me off.
Dude, you're gonna get shot.
What? Poland? Who the f is gonna shoot you in Poland?
Rhyzohm, shut up. I'm not done, homie. Just shut up. My point is,
first you go, what about the planes? Okay, maybe there's a refugee that's gonna. Oh, what about the Airbnb?
No,
we need to. Maybe there's background radiation from Chernobyl. Oh, what if Dylan starts to? What if the oven blows up and refugees die? What? We haven't thought about that yet.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with the longer one, and then we'll use this one as a punchline summary of the thing. So this is him talking about.
Can you stream it real quick?
Yeah, I'm gonna stream it.
We have some stuff to talk about.
Yep, we have stuff to talk about, is what he says. Great, cool stuff. And we'll skip around the video a little bit to get us into position here. Right. Okay. So he just done an interview with a gentleman from Ukraine. I don't remember what the guy's title was, but he was like. He was important, relevant to the scenario. And he was like giving a thorough discussion on the Ukraine war. And then this is the part where he starts talking about the naysaying about his. Right? No, it was like literally right afterwards. Oh, I did a good job clipping this. Look at me go. I didn't think I did.
About both of them.
What's this? Tonight, Certainty Death and I debate the difference between war journalism, war tourism, and war journalism. Definitely not the other thing. Promise. When you contribute absolutely nothing besides shitting on others, you don't bring awareness to nothing, you just shit on people. Lamau, we're not discussing the topic you show trigger happy. You were literally talking about the DylanBurns while typing this. Yes, we're discussing the ups and downs of it. Is it not allowed? Does that make me a shit person? You're not discussing ups and downs, you're speculating on shit you know nothing about. Jesus. Yikes. You've literally no idea about Dylan's plan. JP, listen. You're getting timed out. Stop spamming chat. You don't know with speculation about what I have a problem with. You're shitting on people for the sake of shitting on people. Jesus. Thank you for hopping on. Damn.
And it's kind of hard because there's two groups of people who are not happy about my trip. Okay, two groups of people, and I want to talk about both of them. And it's kind of hard.
When does MrG2ek
really
join? That's the real
break down
drama.
a lot of this stuff because a lot of this stuff is just silly, right? It's
hard to hear you. Give me a second.
Sorry, I'm far away from the mic. It should be better now.
Cool. Okay, thank you.
Now we're talking.
So first of all, I just want to clarify what I said on Twitter and the shit that triggered me. Is the fact that like you literally started the stream with like a clip of Dylan.
You maybe missed my comments. Oh, did I? Okay, yeah. After I finish talking about this, you can hop on. That's fine.
Talking about this shit and everything, and when I'm asking you on Twitter, I felt like you were trying to say, wait, we're just talking about like war tourism versus war journalism. That's it. And like, yeah, no, you started with the clip of Dylan. You're literally talking about Dylan. So for me, it felt like, but yeah.
True. Well, I mean, to be fair, I did get permission to do that, right? Like, I did ask ahead of time before I did the thing, like, hey, can I use this clip? I want to explore this topic with Whick, etc., right? So like, oh, okay.
Yeah. After that, like, here's the thing: we got the infrastructure per se. We got like the equipment, we bought a lot of shit for this trip, like to be able to not just stream but record videos, because obviously we're not going to go to refugees like we're not going to pull a Logan Paul with like, hey, what's up people, like and subscribe and everything with like refugees in the background. Everything will be recorded, and we'll make sure to make to take as much precaution as we can, and to make sure that like people that we're not like crossing lines, basically crossing boundaries.
So to be clear, then you're not planning on live streaming unless you get like people's permission ahead of time or something, right? Like that's like is that your protocol, or are you still working out what the protocol is going to be?
I don't.
I mean, it's fine. Like, if you don't have it, like that's totally cool. Like you could, I understand that like shit like this takes time, and you can spend a week prepping like how you're going to handle live stream stuff, right?
Unless there's a reason for it, I really don't think that we're going to. And I don't see the reason right now. This is why I took some time to answer. I don't see us like live streaming this shit. I think that most of it will be like sit down interviews, and it will be like recorded basically. Like nothing will be live. Like we won't have like a like this thing of like trying to make it like entertaining and everything. No, it's really like trying to get like people's story.
Right. Okay. And then
wait,
can I just like ask?
So they're not live streaming it? Is that right? They said they're not going to be live streaming it then.
Questions like I've got like all sorts.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I mean, I have questions too, but go on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're gonna start with mine because you're gonna be triggering. I feel like, but that's okay. I understand. And like I get it. Like I have concerns as well. So I guess like my first one. In regards to who you select to interview, right? Like, do you have a vetting process? Like, what are you going to do when deciding who to talk to and how you're going to get the refugees like on camera in the first place? I know
we got some contacts like in Poland and everything, so I think we'll rely heavily on them for that.
Okay. So you're going to rely on folks in Poland to say, hey, this person basically they want to talk, and then they're going to approach you, and then you're going to do the interview that way.
Yeah, people who have experience. Yeah.
And then, what's your plan if like folks are having a hard time like following through on the interview? Like, is this like sort of like a pause, try again later thing? Like, if you guys work out protocols on like how to handle a situation where like maybe someone thought they were ready to talk about it, and as they got into it, they realized, oh, this is really really difficult.
I mean,
so there's like a few ways you could go about it, right? Like, for example, you could say like basically as someone's going through, you can ask like security questions, making sure that you still have consent, even though consent may be like withdrawn as you proceed. There's a YouTube channel that I really like actually for this. It's called SBS.
Yeah, I just all this scrutiny to me is just stupid. I'm just like, well, if Dylan goes and he does a good job, he does, and if he fucks it up, he fucks it up. There we go, simple. Then when he comes back, you can be like, Dylan, that was good. That was good, or you can say, Dylan, you fucked up. That's just what this is all about.
For special kids. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I love this channel.
Yeah, it's a great channel. Like, I think if you model your interviews based on his interview style, you could probably get the coverage you want while minimizing harm. Like, I think, like, learning, and then, like, he actually talks about it. I feel like he has a few blog posts on how he does his interviews and what he's, like, looking for, that sort of thing. And I think that would be, like, the model to go after.
Yeah, but I feel like
Yeah, honestly, if people did this stuff about something I was doing, I'd be like, yeah, get fucked. I'd be just like, get fucked. It's none of your business. Fuck you. Unless I wanted to make content out of it, I guess.
This dude is really special in the sense of like he has an approach that is like really, I don't know how to say it, but like humane. Like it doesn't feel like an interview. It feels like a conversation with friends. So it's going to be hard to get like this kind of dynamic to go. Yeah. Like, but I see what you mean. Like in the sense of like like paying attention and all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, like just paying attention to where they're at, and then like not necessarily asking a hard-hitting question if you know that it's gonna like cause problems for the interviewee, right? Like you might want to proceed, but then like that they're kind of softly setting a boundary, and you want to like tread lightly around soft boundaries rather than risk pushing ahead, right? Like you don't want to roll the dice, as what's his face would call it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like I feel like people have this opinion. All right, I'm gonna go on a tangent, but like I feel like it's really weird when people are judging Dylan through a stream of 8 hours. Like Dylan is like in charge of the QPDP. This is highly performative and everything. So he's putting up a show and everything. We're not going to take like the streaming energy or the YouTube energy, like with call to action and everything to stream. So if people during an interview we see that they're not comfortable, like we're going to make clear that like if it's too much, if they want to stop, if they want to retract their consent, if they don't want to be on camera, if they just want to get up and leave, like of course they can.
Right. Well, I mean, but you understand, like some people might feel like that like secondary pressure, right? Where like they're on camera already, they're already proceeding to do it. They have like the regret having done it. They're there, and like you will want to have like a protocol for that too, right? Like you want to be okay.
I think there will be like a vetting process that will be like done on the shit. If we see that like yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, like those are the types of questions that those are like the types of things I'm interested in mostly. Like if I'm worried about like like as like a, and I wouldn't be. I'm not even saying that I would ask this specifically of Dylan. I would ask this of anyone who's doing any sort of sensitive like interview. It's like the sort of thing that I check myself on when I'm talking to someone who's going through like a particularly bad trauma. Am I pushing too far? Are they okay? They might seem okay, and I'll continually ask like, do you still want to talk about this some more? Do you want to pause? How are you feeling? And like I do the checks just to make sure that and, like it could be like something relatively innocuous. Like I'm not even talking like war refugee levels, things that like happened here in the States. I do try to not to toot my own horn, but like I think it's like important to get like the constant string of consent as you work your way through this whole interview process.
Yeah, and to recognize that, like, look, none of us are really experts in most fields, okay? So there's a reason I do not have trauma victims on my stream to talk about their trauma, because I'm not qualified to do so, right? Like, I'm not qualified to do that, right? And again, it just sounds to me like this is just not thought through, like these basic questions. So even if people do go through with this, I think there's value in bringing up these concerns before it happens, so you can think things through and say, oh wow, we didn't think of this, thank you for bringing it to our attention, maybe we should adjust our protocols. I think there's absolutely a value.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. There's all this fucking scrutiny over this. Do you think Rhytoids get scrutiny for doing shit like this? Like, of course they don't. Like, this is actually something that's a bit different to what, yeah, it's like, you know, it's a bit different to what people normally do. But who fucking cares? If there's a problem with it, and we'll realise it's fucked up. I don't, what is it people are thinking going to happen? Jesus.
Value in that, and I think that's what's been done in the Twitter. I've seen this again and again and again in the tweets mentioned.
Yeah, because those are tweets. You know, like that's the reason why, like I went after Madlad. It's because Twitter is fucking Twitter. You know. Like,
but you don't think someone can express a valid concern over that platform?
Well, I think that is a valid concern, but I think that the way you brought it is not like. It wasn't like a concern. It wasn't someone raising a concern. It was an attack. It was like
I definitely did attack him in a couple ways, but it's because I'm concerned, and there are other tweets other than me who definitely do not bring this as attack, but bring it as a concern.
So I just want to like dig into this because like we all agree that Twitter is a toxic space, and I think getting feedback off of Twitter can be challenging. The fact that we're having this conversation right now in this panel talking about this is an indicator that we're all here in good faith. We could like use a measure of charitability here to like, you know, try to understand everyone's points and like try to like, you know, build the best bridge we can while also acknowledging that there's like some severe differences between all of us on some level. Like, I think that's fine. So in terms of interviews, we've kind of like nailed that one, right? Like for me, like what I think is important, and not to say that my preferences are like, there's people who are gonna, like Whick's gonna disagree with me on this, and yeah, how are they getting informed consent? How resources available for trauma victims? Do they know what empathetic listening technique is? So I'm getting a lot of highlights in chat. Are you reading chat, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, so you see all those questions. Okay, and those would be good questions to ask, right? To answer.
Do they have resources available for trauma victims? Do they? Fucking hell, fuck this shit. Honestly, this is why you don't waste your time with these fucking clowns. You just tell them to get fucked. Just say, I'm doing what I want to do. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Fuck you. That's literally the response. Jesus
if you're
Christ.
taking the steps to make sure that you have a informed consent and making sure that the consent is consistent throughout the interview, that's awesome. I think that's great. And I'm very, very happy to like point the people that I know your way when this project launches, right? But then like we can get into like the logistical concerns. Were you watching the part where we talked about what Miles Routledge had done in Afghanistan? Do you know anything about that story?
Yeah, the guy was fucking based.
Not really.
Okay, so this one's. I thought it was hilarious at the time until I saw like the full ramifications of everything that happened. This is a British citizen who he changed his name to Lord Miles Routledge before entering Afghanistan. Specifically, if he was held captive, he wanted to be held hostage, not killed. Right? He went to Afghanistan to do some war tourism before entering the country. And he wasn't expecting the Afghan government to collapse so rapidly, and so he was stranded in the country looking for a way out for several weeks after the collapse happened. And the end result was him being like the one person on a plane that was packed full, right? I don't know if you remember, but like the planes out of Afghanistan were packed full, and that's like one slot that would clearly could have been for anyone else, right? And like I understand that.
What's this got to do with going to fucking Poland? They're not going to fucking Ukraine.
You going to Poland doesn't mean like one slot, someone sleeping on the streets necessarily, right?
No, they're going to fucking Poland.
That there are like some logistics, like in terms of like food and shelter and whatnot, that will have more potential harm or less potential.
What? What do you think's going on in Poland? Poland is business as fucking usual. What do you mean? Yeah, there's probably additional resources that are needed. It's not as if people are fucking starving to death over there. What the fuck? This is insane.
Harm as you guys are going through the country. And I'm wondering, like, have you guys considered this? Like, what you're
Americans, stop talking about Europe, okay? Listen, Yankoids, give it up, okay? You clearly don't have a fucking clue what you're talking about. If you're worried about the food in Poland and shelter, you fucking lost the plot. What are you on about? What the fuck are you going on about?
Steps you're taking to, like, you know, try to avoid taking away something from a refugee.
What?
I mean, like, while Dylan is in Poland, he's gonna like keep like streaming like his like everyday stream where he talks about politics and stuff and everything. So obviously we needed a good internet. So like in Poland, like internet is shit. So one of the reasons why like the price is so fucking high, like to a trip like this, is because we had to take a place that like basically first of all don't take like, you know, like you said, like basically like. I don't think that like people who are fleeing a war are going to care about like having like high internet, like I mean like fiber and shit like this. So like obviously we got like a price range that like already like we're not taking space from anything, we're taking space from the people who have the choice of where they can go, basically.
Gotcha. So basically, your method of avoiding taking up a slot from a refugee is to just pick something that's like so pricey that there's no way it would be housing a refugee anyway, basically.
Yeah, after that, it's not really a matter or anything, you know, but like it's like basically, yeah, like so, our requirement made that like.
How can they maintain informed consent? What is it? Will they have a trauma expert available with them? they're acting like all of these people are like fucking like, you know. Just like some of them sure going to be fucked in the head, obviously, but it's not like every single one of them is going to be like, you know, in fucking blankets like, oh my god, you know. It's like there's going to be some people there that just realized shit was getting a bit fucking whack and they fucked off. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
The people who are going to take this place could take like any other place. There are other places available.
Do you have security? Like, because you realize that in especially in a place where there's housing a lot of refugees, and especially if you're going to be going among them, that there is a high likelihood that these people are in desperate situations. Like crime rises in these cases just because of the thing. So you're going to need security just for your own safety and for the safety of those around you.
What, in Poland? In fucking Poland? What? We're talking about fucking like a mainstream European country. What the fuck? It's fucking Poland. What do you think's going to happen in Poland? People go on holiday to Poland. Jesus Christ. Please stop talking about Europe if you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Please, I'm begging you. Poland is just like a mainstream European country, okay? There's absolutely nothing there that's going to be, you know, you're no more at risk than if you're in any other country, really. Jesus Christ.
As well. And again, my concern here is I do not believe that you have thought this through enough. I think that there are better ways to go about it. I think there is value in getting the stories of individuals who have gone through these things. But I do not believe that you are the I don't want to say you, but I do not believe that Twitch streamers in general are the best ones to do that. I think it's kind of it has a lot of it's high risk, low reward.
I mean. Yes, listen, this is high risk. Like I say to Dylan, you're done. Like going there is like taking a chance. But Dylan is the kind of guy who went to January 6th with a Biden hoodie. You know? So there's this kind of thing too.
That is not the same level of risk, my friend.
Yeah. I know, that's not, but like that's still...
What? He's acting like Poland is some fucking backwater country and you're going to get murdered as soon as you step off the plane. What the fuck is he on about?
A stupid thing to do. That's why I'm going there, to make sure he's not going to get killed. Joke aside,
John, you see it was more of a risk.
Like, sure, we haven't thought about like every aspect like of logistics and everything.
But that's the problem here. That's the problem I have is you haven't, and you just said you haven't thought through these things, and you need to. Not just because I'm worried about the harm that you're going to cause the refugees. I'm worried about the danger you're going to put yourselves in. Okay, like I worry that this is just going to be something that you haven't really paid enough attention to, and it's going to cause problems because when we if you get in trouble, if you need security, if you need not security, I'm sorry, if you need like hospitalization and things like that, if you need if something goes wrong and you need that extra level of care, it's going to be taking away resources from these refugees, right?
Ooh.
I mean, I mean, yes, sure, but wouldn't that be an argument for any type of like journalism?
And that's why I said earlier. That's why I said earlier. If that there is like look, I say that there is a value to journalism. I do believe that. I really do. But that's why we let the professionals handle this, because they have teams behind them. They have the resources behind them that you simply do not.
What resources?
Massive resources in the case of the big networks, but they also have experience.
Well,
so they know
they
how
don't
to
have an hospital. They don't have they can have security for their own safety, but okay, I'm going to say I understand the risk. The argument that you brought, I brought them too. Talking about going to Ukraine, for me, this is nonsense. I really hope that Dylan isn't going to.
That was what beside anything else, that is what made me I think the most upset is him just this spiteful little, oh, because you told me I wouldn't do it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm like, dude, you're gonna get shot. That's
trolling. Dude, you went so fucking.
Why in fucking Poland? Who the fuck is gonna shoot you in Poland? Oh my fucking god. This is insane. I can book an Airbnb in Warsaw right now. I can book an Airbnb in fucking Warsaw right at this second if I wanted to. What is he on about? What does he think's going to happen in Poland? Jesus Christ. This is insane. These people have got such a weird idea about what it's like over it in Europe.
What you say to him.
Look, I did go hard.
You cannot go for him making a joke like this. Do you really think that he's going to think like this when the time comes, or do you think that it was a joke in the moment?
I hope it's a joke in the moment. I really hope it's a joke in the moment.
I hope it's
a joke in the moment.
But I don't know.
I can just imagine should I? He's at the border of Ukraine, right? He's just standing there, and he's like, oh, I shouldn't do this, and then Whick's voice in his head, he's like,
yeah, fuck Whick. No.
Some people are unreasonable, okay? I've known people like that before. You've known people like this before, Madlad. You know people.
In some ways, I am that person, right? I would totally do something. I could totally see myself doing something incredibly dangerous because someone pissed someone off. I get that. But I don't think I'm hoping DylanBurns isn't that way. So okay, we understand that there's concerns. There's a lack of some things that could be considered a lack of preparation that needs to happen. So what I think we can do that would be the most effective here is talk about what those blind spots could be. Discuss and I'm not saying that we will come to terms on whether this trip should happen or not, but I feel like it would be constructive to actually talk about the blind spots and explore the topic because I think there's a lot here. This is actually a very interesting topic. So we talked about how to avoid taking housing from a refugee, and then someone in chat you
want to talk to me? Hello.
Hey. So, I just want to clear up some things.
Yeah, sure. Please, by all means, do.
Let me turn down your stream. I'm sorry. I'm getting echo. Okay. So, yes, he is going to Poland, but he also wants to go to Ukraine. And that's the big thing. He also wants to enter an active war zone. And Ukraine at this point is an active war zone. And so when we talk about things about him getting shot and him being in danger and all these things, these risks, and I think we get to it later in the video, dramatically rise when he enters Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, if he says he's going to Ukraine, obviously that's fucking insane.
Yeah, that was the tweet that I was responding to. That was part of the situation that he wants to go to Ukraine. He says he'll listen to experts to see if he's safe. One, I simply don't believe he will. And two, it's never going to be perfectly safe. Even if an expert says, "Oh, yeah, this area is safe," at any point in time, things can go terribly wrong, like a rocket can go off course or what have you. It's just not safe. And I have been to Europe. I have been to Poland. It's been a couple decades, but it's not like I'm unfamiliar with it. I lived in England for a few years.
We never said he was going
so
to
I'm familiar with Europe. I'm familiar with
no
the
evidence
things
to believe
like that.
otherwise.
Yeah. So, any other questions?
Yeah. Why the fuck are you soying out so much about this?
Well, because I care about people's safety. I care about people's, and plus I just don't like
why
going.
don't you clarify
that
some
is,
homes?
and I would be lying if I said that wasn't a very big reason. I think he's a snake of a man.
Okay, well that's fine as long as you're honest about that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you were genuinely talking about Ukraine and not Poland, then that's fair enough. Obviously, misunderstanding.
Well, there's risks in Poland too. They're not as big, obviously, but there are problems there as well. But that is again, as I said in the clip that you just played, my main problem is the Ukraine portion of
Well,
it.
what problems do you think there are in Poland?
Well, there's potential problems there. If you go, anytime you go to another country or even a city, even in America, this doesn't apply just to Europe. Um, it, th- there's risks involved in travel and things like that. You have to be very careful, especially if this is your first time out of your if this is his first time out of the country, which I believe he has said it is. I could be wrong about that. Do you know if that's true or not? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if he's traveled outside of the US.
And again, in the conversation, it was just like we're asking Mr. Geek, who, by the way, I enjoyed the conversation with Mr. Geek. I thought he answered things pretty honestly. I thought we had a talk afterwards as well, off stream. He was a very personable guy. I have no beef with the man. But yeah, he mentioned like there's a lot of things that they just did not think through. Like when we talk about trauma victims, there's a much higher likelihood that a lot of these refugees are going to be victims of trauma, and you kind of got to know how to handle that. Like I wouldn't bring a trauma victim onto my stream because I just don't know how, or one that there's a high likelihood that I know that they're a trauma victim. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as you said,
let's roll it back a few steps though. I want to hear more about these risks in Poland that you're talking about.
Well, yeah, I mean they're refugees, right? They're coming in, and it might not be bad now. There might not. I don't think there's camps in Poland. I don't believe so. I think they're housed in people's homes. Is that how that's working out?
I'm not sure. I don't. I mean, you seem to be the one
Yeah,
that's
me
got a
neither.
problem with
I
it.
don't
So
know either.
right. Well, you've got
I
a lot
don't
of
know either.
Well, then why are you so concerned if you don't know?
Well, because I don't think he does either, and I think he's putting him in a situation where he just does not know.
Right, okay. So basically, you haven't looked into it yourself, but you're deeply concerned about it. I mean, it just seems like this is all about hating Dylan. Your concern just seems... Right, okay.
I get you. A lot of it, and the reason I went about it initially was because I just do not like him as a person, and so I got angry, and I should not have done so. Had I kept my beef with the man separate from my concerns over what he is doing, that would have been a better way to go about it. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, because if you're telling me you don't know what's going on over there, that's fine, but I don't really know how you can have a solid opinion on what is and isn't the right thing to do. Like, do you have any experience in journalism or interviewing people of this nature?
He's
Me personally, no, I do not.
Intolerance, so sorry.
Okay. Well, then what?
But yeah,
what
like,
standards?
it's like,
well, then what standard?
never...
How do you know what the standards are? How do you know what the standards are when dealing with these people?
Well, because I've talked to people who have, right? Like I've talked to people who do journalism before. I've talked to people who've been interviewed by journalists as well. The one person in the chat that you are mentioning, Amanda Smash, they have been interviewed before as a victim of trauma, and this is the process that the journalists went through. And I don't want to talk to her about her story too much because it's not my story, right? But like all these bits of information, yes, I'm not an expert. And they're not complete data sets here, but they are something to keep in mind. And I can extrapolate based on incomplete data and say, hey, if these people do it, this is probably the best way to do it. And I'm sure not all journalists do it correctly. I'm sure even the experts fuck it up from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like you're acting like Dylan is just going to kind of like go over there. I mean, I think going to Ukraine is probably a bad idea, but he does sort of say here it depends on the safe opportunity to enter the country. My understanding is all travel from the UK, at least, to Ukraine is advised against.
Welcome to Chud Nation.
I can't imagine there's going to be a circumstance with which he would enter Ukraine where it isn't completely safe. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's a chance that he might overlook something and end up getting shot by some Russian soldier. But yeah, I'm kind of skeptical about that, I guess. But I mean,
there is like, look, there's a chance. It's about risk mitigation. He could go there and nothing could go wrong, and nothing terrible could happen. And honestly, I hope it doesn't. I really do. I hope that he goes there. And it's much better than my expectations, and nothing bad happens. But at the same time, he like to act as if he's not putting himself at extensive risk by going there. I just feels unfair.
Yeah, I just think that, yeah, I mean, you've said yourself you don't like the guy. Clearly, it's kind of rooted in that, and that's fine. You've obviously got some other concerns, but I just think that it doesn't seem like you've really done the due diligence yourself and the research yourself to know what the situation is to make these critiques.
I mean, I popped off on Twitter. Like, how much research do I need to do to?
You went
to
on
make
his
a
stream, and then you went on another stream and talked about it, and now you're on my stream.
Well, I went on to Dylan's stream because he wanted to talk to me at the time, and I wanted to yell at him, frankly, and so I did.
Yeah, okay. Well, as long as you're honest about that, it's fine.
Yeah, and so I wanted to yell at him, so I did. And I do think the Madlad the discussion there was more productive. I felt it was a productive conversation, and again, I talked with MrG2ek afterwards, and you know, he enjoyed the conversation as well. So.
Okay, well, yeah, fair enough. Thanks for coming on. Apologies
Yep,
for any misunderstandings about your comments initially.
Yeah, and it's fine. Like I just want to say, it's fine to disagree with me. It's fine to think that I'm wrong here or that I haven't done my due diligence, and that's okay. But I just think it's a bad idea for any Twitch streamer. Like I said, I'd tell Madlad, hey man, look, this is getting done. You don't need to insert yourself into this situation. It's probably not a good idea. Just in general. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for having me.
No worries. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me because, like, I honestly don't know what's going on over there. I've got no idea. All I can go by is, you know, having looked at the previous refugee crises, you know, the countries that they were going to weren't like shutting down. It wasn't like they were running out of food and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. Chat was fucking popping off. I don't know why. Fucking crazy.
Oh, Name Manon says that things in Poland aren't so bad. Eating there isn't going to take food from a Ukrainian refugee. And I can definitely understand that too. And I mean, you could actually use the pricing trick where you're buying the more expensive foods to kind of guarantee that you're not necessarily taking food from someone who is in need. And it will make the trip more expensive, but it'll kind of give you a clear conscience. I could totally see how that works, and I can get behind that. So I think that's awesome.
This is just made up bullshit. This is just made up shit. This is made up concerns. What? Make sure you buy the expensive food so the poor, like, I don't know what point is being made here. It doesn't make any sense to me.
We talked about interviewing trauma victims. Amanda Smash just posted a link which I thought was pretty good. So I'm going to re-copy paste it here.
Hey, just wanted to say thank you for that. I will definitely read it and share it with Dylan.
Yeah, I think this is like good. And then like since you're familiar with SBSK, MrG2ek, how do I say your name by the way? I always
MrG2ek.
Just MrG2ek. Okay, cool. And the 2 is like a sideways E, right? Is that how that works? Cool.
No, basically it's how do you spell geek? G2E-K.
Okay. Got it. Cool.
I thought that was clever at the time, but this is stupid, and now I'm stuck.
I mean, the problem I've got though is like, we also want to talk to locals in Western Ukraine to get their thoughts on the conflict, but that depends upon a safe opportunity to enter the country. I mean, I'm very skeptical about the idea you'd have a safe opportunity to. I don't think you'd be allowed to. I'm pretty sure that anything, all travel from the UK is advised against to Ukraine. I mean, we didn't get into it massively. I just don't understand, like, yeah, there's risks of all travel, but, like, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't go to Poland. The Ukraine thing, yeah, I can maybe see, like, the concerns there. But I'm fairly certain that Dylan would take the due diligence. I don't think he's just going to walk up to the Polish border and sneak across, you know? But I doubt we'd be able to get in anyway. I don't think any people would be allowed in that aren't essential or whatever. You probably need some sort of, like, some sort of pass or something, wouldn't you?
Dylan has access to experts, but I'm gonna be concerned even though I seem to know very little about the situation. Nice job, Whick, you dingleberry.
Ukraine travel advisory. What's this? Hey, thanks a lot. That's really generous of you. Hey, oh my god. Spaniard, thanks for the $25. Appreciate that. Holy shit. Do not travel to Ukraine, it says here. US citizens in Ukraine should depart immediately if safe to do so. US citizens should not travel to Ukraine due to active armed conflict. Yeah, there's no way Dylan's going to get into Ukraine anyway. I very much doubt it. I think that's silly to think he's going to get into Ukraine in any case. Yeah.
With people mispronouncing my name.
Well, fair enough. I mean, I feel the pain. Yeah, so Mr. Geek then. And you're familiar with special books for special kids, so you'll be able to, like, you know, transfer that knowledge, have Dylan watch a few interviews, maybe. I thought the one with the burn victims especially was, like, pretty good. In terms, like, just people who are really suffering, the way he handles that, I think, is, like, particularly excellent. And I think that will help with the interviews, although it won't guarantee a good interview, and I hope that nothing goes wrong. But if you guys aren't filming it live, that's good. And then going to Whick's point about security and exploring refugee camps. Like, I'm not necessarily expecting you guys to be, like, actually wandering around refugee camps. Like, what is the plan? Like, you guys are going to be going to people's apartments and stuff, right? Or are you actually going to be going
also
in the field?
This fucking trauma shit. Like, I don't buy this trauma shit either, right? I don't buy this trauma shit at all. I imagine there's some sort of press standards about how to gain consent from people if you want to speak to them as, like, a journalistic thing. But yeah, it's clearly possible to get there. Yeah, sure, but I don't think Dylan's going to try and sneak in. I don't think Dylan wants to literally die. Like, you know, like, have any of these people actually, like, spoken to someone that's fled, like, a war zone or something like that, or spoken to someone that's come from that sort of background? We think he's going to try and get in for content. I mean, fucking hell. Well, we'll have to see, won't we? We'll have to see what he does. Dylan at the Ukrainian border. Come on, let me in. I've got a fucking AK. Let me fight. I'm going to go shoot some Ruskies. Yeah, I think, you know, if it is done in the right way and it's genuinely trying to get some of their perspectives, that would be really interesting. But yeah. I just think this criticism of they're doing it for content. Like, everyone does everything for content, you know? Like, this is a criticism I've had of Dylan before when we were talking about panels and stuff, and, you know, he was trying to sort of somewhat argue that it goes beyond, like, being content and stuff, and there being something more to it. But this is something that affects all of us. And I just think, like, yeah, cool. Like, if you can do that and go over there and do some on the IRL stuff with it, why not? It's something fresh, it's something new. Hey, thanks for the bits.
Someone tell Death of Evidence that checkbook journalist is deeply unethical / exploitative when used on who's in need. Also, journos aren't therapists.
Let's have a look. Is there like a journalistic...
Going to like, I don't even know if there's such thing as a refugee camp, like how big the camp is, like what's going on. I've seen some things there, but, like, actually, this is where my expertise is starting to dry up. Like, do we know where the refugees are housed in Poland right now?
I mean, the problem, this is why, like, the best thing we can do is have, like, the infrastructure when we're...
What's this? I've got no idea what this is. This looks like AC, what's this? ljmu.ac.uk, what's this? Some sort of university. Oh, this is more for study. Oh, it's journalists, but I think it's for people doing studies and stuff as well. Share the list of questions. Yeah, there's some standards you can look to. Show empathy, not grief. Discuss use of an interpreter. This trauma thing, I think this is massively overplayed. I think this is massive, like the whole trauma angle. Like, yeah, if there's people that are obviously, you know, that have, like, I'm sure that there's some sort of assistance that these people are being given. And you'll be able to ascertain the people that are appropriate to speak to and the ones that won't, surely.
Mr. Zelensky let me in, I got a hype train going.
You know, if someone's just seen their wife get blown to bits by some Russian artillery or whatever, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like, right, off you go and do an interview. Go and talk about your wife's innards, being covered in your wife's innards a couple of days ago.
Right, because this is like the first time in almost 100 years that we're seeing like a on the ground like war. So like saying where it's going to go, how things are going to do and everything, like it's not really possible. Like for instance, yesterday I was reading that like there are like already like refugees going back to Ukraine, basically like women and children going back to Ukraine. Fuck, I forgot the name of the city and everything. So that's already a new lead to explore.
Probably Lviv.
Yeah. Have you seen the Ghost of Kiev?
It's close to the border. But yeah, well, so it's interesting because yeah, you're right. Like 100 years ago, it was the last war in that region minus World War II, which is the really significant one actually.
I feel bad because like
ago,
Madlad seems like a really good dude, but the last time I spoke to him, I was really rude to him because I was in a bad mood about the Dr. K stuff, and now I'm just kind of calling him Soy doing this. I feel bad. He's actually, he's in chat still. He's actually a good dude, and I'm just being really mean to him.
Like this really big war between like Russia, Ukraine, Belarus.
Oh, we did.
Like,
that's
everybody
true.
was kind of going at it. Latvia was involved. The Czech Republic was involved in this thing. It was like the whole Red Revolution turned into a Russian Civil War scenario. So there's actually like a very deep history of Russia kind of doing this thing that they're doing right now.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, I don't know much about it, but I don't know why you'd pay. You know.
The
why would you?
Gifted a tier
hey, thank you.
Madlad_N.
Yeah, you wouldn't pay people you're interviewing because that could act as like a conflict of interest or like a perverse incentive or something. So you don't pay the people you're interviewing. You interview them so they can share their story. Yeah, checkbook journalism. That's what you get when you get someone that's got a dirty story on a celebrity. Papers will pay them for the story. But that's obviously different because they've got some level of control or power over the exchange because they're the one that's got the dirt or whatever, right? And they're not vulnerable in particular. But maybe it does happen sometimes, but yeah. And you get all these stories that get embellished and stuff, yeah, sure. Hey, how's it going, Kino?
Which would be another interesting topic to get into actually as well. Like, what is the psychology of this? Because there's like this kind of rich Eastern European tradition of war that has been happening.
Yeah, I think it's beside the point though. Really, like you're right. It's interesting, but I don't think this is the topic.
It connects in a sense because I think when you're interviewing individuals from the region, understanding the culture of the people of that region is actually incredibly significant, right? So familiarizing yourself with the history and being like, okay, your grandfather was involved in the last exodus from this like city, or knowing that the possibility is there and knowing what topics might be sensitive, whatever. It's anthropology. It's like history anthropology, it's journalism, it's all these things combined. So like doing a little bit of historical research on the area and like, you know, being able to reference the war that has happened previously, the wars that have happened previously over that region, I think is significant. That's all. So I think like having more cultural understanding of the people there, not just depending on the people to inform you of the culture, would be a good idea. Can you do all that training in a week? Probably not, but like if you're spending a month there, as time goes on, hopefully you kind of can fill in the gaps. And actually,
it's 2 months, correct? You're planning a 2-month stay? Is that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess again, like, do you already? And I don't know. So this is a legitimate question, like a good faith question. Is do you guys have translators set up? Do you have all that in place? Okay, that's great. Yeah. Again, I just do not know if this was happening in a month, I'd still be concerned, but I'd be less concerned. But because you would have a lot more time to prepare. Because again, I feel like even just this simple questioning with Madlad is revealed some kind of holes in like, oh wow, you know, we probably should have thought of this.
Like
you
in
know
a sense,
what I mean?
like, but that's what the the critique, the being under focus. There's a wonderful word that I usually use for this, but it's escaping my mind right now. But like being under scrutiny, yeah, that's the one. Being scrutinized and having to talk about why you're being scrutinized and like learning from the actual attacks is helpful in making this endeavor either more successful or
yeah, if you're scrutinized by people who know the ins and outs of what's going on, like when you have scrutiny from someone, like if you have a journalistic outlet, there's some sort of internal board or some sort of people that know about journalism that scrutinize you to make sure you know what's what. But as like don't forget to pack a lunch. Yeah, you need scrutiny from people that know the ins and outs of it. I want to see like I'll admit I don't know anything about what's going on over there, really. Like I know what I've read in the press and stuff like that. Yeah, you can't honestly not even looked into it, which is fine. I mean, I appreciate the honesty, but what gives someone the right to sort of scrutinize someone if you haven't even done the basic research to find out what is going on over there? No, it just seems obvious to me.
The endeavor altogether if it's a bad idea.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of which, don't go to Ukraine. Like, just don't. Please don't. Like, it would actually be a disaster. Like, Russian missiles have landed next to the Polish border. You step foot in Ukraine, and you could die just by walking across that border.
Yeah.
Like, there's no protection. It doesn't matter how close to the Polish border you are. Like, you will...
They seem to be more concerned with us questioning Dylan than with Dylan questioning war refugees, which I mean, it's a take. Soy! Oh, that's certainly a take chief, a heckin' take chief. Yeah, because guess what? I'm fairly certain that they're going to find people that are not fucking, covered in their child's innards. I'm pretty sure they're going to find people that are just like, oh yeah, things got a bit fucking whack, so we got out of there. It's not going to be like hardcore brutalized refugees that go in and pester him with a camera. In order to set this up, like I don't think there's like a sort of a refugee center and they're just going to wander around going, does anyone want to speak to us? We'll give you a hamburger if you come and speak to us. Like they're probably going to have to contact people to get the contacts with which to communicate with these refugees, surely. And they're going to be put in touch with people who are willing to talk, who want to share their story. That's my take anyway. But hey, who knows?
So,
after that,
you're in an active war zone. Yeah.
Dylan.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. Listen, we want to get some real hot content. Do you know any refugees that have been raped? We feel that would be good content. Hook us up with a few. Not for that reason, don't think to talk to.
Like, Dylan covers foreign policy. Like he covers like foreign policy on stream. Like he watched like stuff like about like what's happening with the Rojavas. He's watching stuff about like basically Yemen, like all type of conflict and everything. Like I'm not saying that like it gives him like an expertise or anything. That's not my point. Like my point is just that like the desire to go there is not really to streamer content and all of this shit. It's there's also like Dylan wants to bring awareness. Like he has like he is like deeply involved. Like when he talks about this shit, it's with passion. Like he cares about these issues.
Is passion enough? Is that enough? And I want to be very clear. Let me finish. I actually think his foreign policy takes are generally good. I like his foreign policy takes. I do not think that in general, like he's unknowledgeable or uneducated on this subject. But that is not the same. And being able to cover and talk about foreign policy issues is a totally different wheelhouse than interviewing war refugees and victims of trauma. And I do not.
That's not my point. But,
okay, what was your point? I'm sorry.
My point is just that like you were talking about like the risk for ourselves and everything. Dylan is aware of all of this shit. It's not like that like he thinks that like he's invincible or that like he's going there in like streamer mode and like no, he's being careful. Like he's talking about this shit. That's why Ukraine is not set in stone. It's because the conflict could change and everything. He like the I cannot speak a lot about I cannot say a lot about this, but like we have contact on the ground. We have like people who are like aware, who are like on the ground. Basically, who have lived there all their life, who are like deep in the conflict and all of this shit. So like, we're not going there blind. Like,
if MrG2ek wants me to get in touch with a trauma expert that does interviews, I can reach out to them. Or you can just speak to people that aren't traumatized. Like, it's not like every single person is going to be like hardcore traumatized coming out. Just find people that aren't traumatized. Just find people that are just like, you know, yeah, it kind of sucks we had to leave. There's some shit going down, obviously. Hopefully we'll be back soon. Jesus. Yeah, find people that want to talk about it. Like, why people are so this trauma thing? What the fuck? Fucking hell.
There's some stuff that we cannot talk about because again, this is an always like a day-to-day changing conflict. Like there are some stuff happening every day, so yeah, like we don't have like a plan set in stone. And sure, we don't have like every aspect like covered. Like,
again, I'm not expecting
about
perfection.
like all of this shit, but like
I'm not expecting perfection. I really am not. Like I said, but I think that again, just there are much better ways to get what you want out of this. There's much better ways to bring light to this than what is being done, and it frustrates me. It frustrates. I'm taking my beef with Dylan outside of this, and this I would say this to Madlad, who's my friend. If he told me one day I want to go to Poland and things like that, I would say, look, why don't you hire a Ukrainian reporter refugee to do this for you? Set up the stream, set up the equipment, use all your contacts you have, and let them do it. Don't put yourself.
A Ukrainian reporter refugee. What? Let me just email my friend. He happens to be a Ukrainian refugee who's also a reporter. Hey man, can I give you some money to do this for me? Cheers. I covered this last night. My favourite part is, hey, I'm concerned about trauma. Let's talk about how you're Griffin. Yeah, I know, that was a spicy comment. I sucked air through my teeth on that one. Jesus.
In danger, don't use up any more resources there, and you can get your content. You can get what you want. You can instruct the reporter how to do the interview style. This would be infinitely better than your plan. It just right out the gate. And I get that he wants to insert himself. Nope, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I'm trying to stay away. I get that he wants to do this, but there are better ways that should be done rather than how it's being done, and that it's concerning to me. You know what? If you guys address all my concerns, cool. But I don't know.
I guess like the question would be. Oh, go ahead. This is
two things to do that. Like first of all, Dylan. Like there's two things. Like first of all, Dylan platform. Like does this Ukrainian journalist have like Dylan's platform? Does he have access to the same people and everything? Covering stuff on stream is
you
one
can give
thing.
him that access,
like,
my friend.
Seeing Dylan talking with someone like directly, like face to face and everything is another. Having like watching a video on stream is not the same than like discussing like with the person like either face to face or like having an interview with them. So there's like for me that's the first thing, and the second thing like
Jack doesn't have the sand to go.
Yeah, what if like Madlad or like Dylan wants to have the experience too? Like he wants to like this is something that he wants to do. This is something that he cares about. So therefore, yeah, he wants to be on the ground too. So there's the two things. There's the fact that like Dylan has this platform and has access to people that might not go to like the Ukrainian journalist directly. And the second thing is that like Dylan wants to have this experience, wants to experience the world, wants to see this thing for himself and all of this shit.
Yeah. And I mean, and so there's that other aspect of it too, right? Like there is like personal interest attached to something like this, but that's like par for the course, right? It comes with the territory. You don't become a war journalist just because you have. I mean, a lot of it is
reinforcing flesh-colored beards.
Thanks so much for the bits. War journalism is when you're in an active war zone, reporting from the front line, right? Is that not what that is? Not from the front lines, but in the war zone at least.
Et cetera, but like part of it is ambition, the desire to proceed and engage, and like it could be altruistic in nature as well. And there's no way of like actually exploring someone's like, there's no way of properly and guaranteedly exploring someone's mental state when deciding to engage with something. I guess is the way I would phrase that if we're being like technical here. So like I don't necessarily begrudge the desire to want to do it. I would just want to make sure that there were protocol. And so like me and Whick have completely different opinions here, to be clear. Like we were talking about this today, and my opinion was like I think my more solidified opinion here is if we can do everything we can to reduce harms, why not? Right? Like if there's a way of making sure that we're not taking a seat off of someone's plane, if we're making sure that we're not traumatizing people, if we can take the guaranteed steps.
Taking a seat off of a plane? You're going to fucking Poland from America. And then what is he talking about? Taking a seat on a plane? Are these refugees going to America en masse? What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
And make sure that, do our best to make sure that harm doesn't happen. It isn't such a bad thing. I mean, if like 100 streamers decide to copycat and they're not doing their due diligence and it causes like a whole bunch of problems, that's a whole nother discussion that we could.
Huncho Juice, how's it going? Good to see you. You're gonna love this. We're talking about Dylan. I know you love Dylan, mate. I know you're a big Dylan fan.
Have, because like I think my worst nightmare would be like Dylan, then Destiny, then Vosh, then like Mr. Girl, then fucking like Haas shows up, and then like Haas challenges DylanBurns to a fight and then runs away or whatever. Like just like all the fucking Twitch politics drama happening in a war zone would be fucking shit, right? Like
I'm sorry, but no, I would have to disagree. Infrared versus Dylan in the middle of Ukraine would be absolutely amazing. Like,
you know, memes aside,
yeah,
it would be entertaining. But again, and where I differ from Madlad here is he's saying he's using these words.
Imagine Haas. Imagine Haas somehow manages to get hot dropped into the middle of Ukraine, thinking he's gonna go and battle the Ukrainian neo-Nazis, and then he lands and he's immediately shot dead by mistake by a Russian soldier.
It's like guaranteed. Like we can guarantee that this won't happen. And I think that's foolish. Then you go into a situation where there really are no guarantees. It's high risk.
Would it make sense if I said redundancies? Would redundancies be more like one thing about?
Look, you can mitigate risk. You can 100% mitigate risk. There's lots of ways to do so. But part of mitigating risk is having someone who is experienced in the field who goes out there to do that. It mitigates a ton of risk because they've been there before. They know what to expect. They know how to react and things like that. And correct me if I'm wrong. Dylan has never been to Poland, correct?
He's never been anywhere.
Like he's never been to a war zone. He's never been to a refugee crisis area. There's just so many points of failure that I think that his desire to do it, noble though it may be, which I have issue with too, but let's give him the grace that it is noble. It's not, but let's say it is. There's so many points of failure that him just wanting to do it isn't enough for me, right? It's not enough.
I mean, if I was like 10 years younger, I would say I could see myself going, not as a streamer, like I would actually have maybe, if the cards played themselves right, I was in shape, I was actually thinking about it, like I would go to Ukraine and I would fight, right? Like I could see myself being
and I would tell you, don't do it, dude.
And I would
even they're telling you, don't do it. Like,
yeah, and I would like,
what? What? Oh my god. Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you know what this reminds me of? Do you remember this tweet? It reminds me of this. Oh my god, it gives me this energy. Holy moly.
Rub it in people's faces like, hey, I'm going, fuck this shit, and I'd like make a big spectacle of the whole thing too. So I can relate to the mentality attached. The question is though, like, again, what are the better ways? And like we talked about some of these, right? Like paying for people to talk, which I think is. Are you guys gonna be paying refugees for their interviews, or like what's your plan there? Do you have any sort of plan?
It's not excluded. Like I don't know. Like again, like
okay. Why would you? I don't understand why. Yeah, I don't get why you'd pay them. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like they're gonna, they're gonna be being integrated into Poland as much as they need to be, or sent to another country or whatever. I don't know why you'd pay them.
Sure, like. I agree with everything. Like, I've never been, like, I'm going to, and I've never been to a war zone. I've traveled a little bit, but, like, it's... Listen, me going to Amsterdam is not comparable to, like, like, going to, like, fucking, like, Poland and everything. So, like,
I'll tell you what's, like, really terrifying. So, I went to... go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to finish this. So yeah, sure. Like we're lacking experience and all of this shit. Like we haven't like 100% of hot dogs in a row. But I think that like when it comes to like reducing harm and like all of this shit, and also like all of this risk that you talked about are stuff that like I raised. those are concerns that I raised. Like, I'm the one I'm the one like in Dylan's here saying like, listen, like, have you thought this through, like, and everything. Like, so we had like long talks and everything. Those are calculated risks. Like, those are stuff that like we talked about and like we, like we evaluated, and like Dylan wants to go through, and me, I don't want Dylan to die, and like he's going to need someone because he's a fucking boomer with technology. So if we want to see a Dylan stream for the next month, you
have to go with them and make sure it all happens. So it's interesting. So I've been to Iran twice, right? And like when I went, it was pre 9/11, so things were like, you know, actually pretty okay. Like as an American who didn't know Persian, I could like talk to people in the streets and no one like really hated me or whatever else, right?
Welcome.
And like
to
overall,
Chud
the country
Nation.
felt like
chilling down,
modern as far as I could tell.
gifted a tier 1 sub.
Thanks for the gifted.
Pretty awesomely for my trip. But I'll never forget that. So one way to get around in Iran at the time was it was like the pre-Uber version of Uber. Okay, so like there was taxis, and then there'd be like these unmarked cars that would also taxi you around, right? So we got in this guy's car, and he was going to take us from one city to another. It was like a 2-hour drive, okay? And like there's something shady about the guy. My dad kept like muttering to me about it, just like, you know, keep your eyes open, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're just driving in this car. And I will never forget how fucking terrified I was when we hit the security checkpoint. And there were soldiers with AK-47s like standing around our car, and me wondering what the fuck is in this guy's trunk. Like that was like that memory stuck in my head, right? So I mean, like those are like the types of things that you can kind of. I'm not saying that that's like the type of thing you like guarantee experience when you're like in Poland, right? But I think like talking to experts and like reading about other people's experiences going to war zones like this, like there's people who write memoirs about this stuff, right? And like the types of experiences they had will give you like at least enough information to take care of yourselves, protect yourselves, and then also kind of give you.
Also, the other thing as well is like, for one thing, it's, you know, this going to a war zone thing. Even if they did end up going to Ukraine, which I don't think is going to happen, they're not. I highly doubt they're going to go to the front lines. If anything, they would go to a place where there's not, you know, Russian troops and whatnot. But I doubt they're going to get in anyway, unless Russia rescind their, you know, invasion, unless they go back. Yeah, I mean, Ukraine's a big country, right? Yeah. He's going to own STN. Planning to go to Lviv, which is very close to the Polish border. If they go, that's it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Idea of like how to approach people. And then Amanda Smash has been mostly advocating for the trauma victims. My biggest hope past preparing yourselves in the way I just described would also be like being very, very ready to engage with someone who's completely brokenhearted and like being willing to give them time if they're not able to wrap up the interview, I guess. And I know you guys won't have the intention of hurting anyone. I'm giving you guys like all the charity and good faith in the world. It's just like, you know, I hope that there's no mistakes. It's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Which is
I
very
mean, I
different
hope there isn't too, but yeah. Like.
And if there are better ways of doing this, and like people want to like bring it up and talk about it, I think that's like valid too, right? Because like nothing's etched in. I mean, okay, some things might be etched in stone. I understand that, but like, you know, if you're dotting your I's, crossing your T's, minding your P's and Q's, and there's like certain challenges that emerge, it is okay to S key and pause. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what?
What is going on?
Not to say that you need to do this, but like there's like this sort of like sunk cost fallacy thing that happens, right? I think being aware of the fact there's...
Yeah, go on, hop on there, Madlad, go on. Go on. Hop in the green room, I'll pull you in. Let's go, come on. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's up? Alright, hold on, let me get my sexy mic going on for this shit.
No worries.
So these motherfuckers in chat talking about how soy I am and how much of a fucking snowflake I have to be. I just want to ask, why is it such a fucking problem to ask some goddamn questions? If I'm being soy about his fucking trip, you fucks are being soy about me asking some motherfucking questions and you can all fuck off. All right, now that we've gotten that out of the way, yeah, so I thought like the whole point was actually to just explore the topic. Like, I'm not necessarily saying that DylanBurns is a piece of shit and he shouldn't go to Ukraine. My focus is emphatically on like, what's the actual fucking difference between war journalism and war tourism? And we got like a lot of case like samples, that sort of shit.
Why are you framing it as war anything?
Wait, is he not going because of the war? Like, I don't understand.
Okay, so if I travel to Poland for a holiday, am I doing war tourism? Like, because it's near there or something?
are you planning on interviewing refugees for content?
What's that got to do with war in terms of like being a war journalist?
Well, I mean, if a
refugee from Ukraine was in the UK and I went and spoke to them and interviewed them on stream, would I be a war journalist because I'm interviewing a refugee?
I don't know. That's actually a good question. I mean, we can look it up and figure it out. I don't think so necessarily. No.
What the fuck do you need to figure out? What do you mean? Like, obviously, no, I'm not.
Well, right, because okay. I guess like the question is like how close do you have to be to the war zone for it to count? So like UK, no, but like the Polish border, yes, baby.
Well, no, a war journalist is someone who goes to a war zone to report on the war from the war zone. That's what a war journalist is.
But like, how close to the war do they actually have to be? And like, if someone's in Ukraine,
in the war zone where the war's happening.
Okay.
No, do you disagree?
The reason why I'm going to disagree though is because there's war journalists who are like situated in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia who are like did the reporting on the Iraq War, and they were still referred to as war journalists. So I mean, like, I want to agree with you, but I think technically speaking, the way that term has been used, I don't think that's the case. I think like there's like some sort of like close enough that like sort of fits in that, right?
Okay. I mean, my understanding is they're going to Poland to talk to refugees. And if they're able to, they're going into Western Ukraine to talk to local people from Ukraine about what's going on. I've not heard anything about going to report on the war from the war zone or anything like that.
If you step 1 foot in Ukraine, you're in the war zone. Like literally a Russian missile was like 19 kilometers away from the border. Like you're not like as soon as you step into the country of Ukraine, you're in a war zone. Absolutely 1,000%. Like you don't have to go to the front lines to get killed in that country right now.
I don't think that's true. I think there's certain areas. Travel to Ukraine is obviously not recommended at the moment by the US State Department, the UK government is not recommending travel. Not every single inch of Ukraine is a war zone. No, of course not.
Every single inch of Ukraine can be bombed by Russian anythings at any time. I'm not wrong about that.
Okay. Well, I just don't think that just going to Ukraine makes you like a war journalist as such.
Well, no, I mean, like, I mean, it could make you a war tourist, though. Absolutely, right?
But the thing is what's the purpose of them going? Are they going to talk about and report on the war itself that's happening in terms of the soldiers fighting and so on? Whereas if you're just talking to refugees and stuff, I just don't see how that's in any way war journalism.
Well, right. So when Dylan was talking about it on his stream, he was saying that he's not going in as a war journalist. He is going in for content, right? Like he's talked about how he's going to explore Warsaw, and he's talked about like, he's going to visit Hungary and Moldova. And he has like, an itinerary that he's like kind of sort of plotting out, right?
Sure.
So I don't think he's like necessarily going in as like a war journalist. Obviously not. He doesn't have the training or whatever else. But like a lot of people will use that label, like going back to that Lord Miles fuck who like took up that one seat in Afghanistan. He now refers to himself as a war journalist, and he was in South Sudan after Afghanistan. And guess which country he's in right now?
Yeah, he's in Ukraine.
He's in fucking Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
So like that label can be thrown around quite a bit. And I'm not saying that DylanBurns is going to be like a war tourist. I don't think that's the case at all. I just think that if people are deciding to engage with this very serious topic and go to people who've suffered like very serious harms, it's actually like kind of good to ask these questions. Not like the questions are harmless, right? There's no harm in me asking and say, hey, what are you doing over there? What are your plans? And these are the things that I've heard would be good for you to do. It doesn't make me a fucking expert in the topic. I'm not an expert in the topic.
What qualifications or research have you done to speak on this?
Besides like understanding the history of the region and like having studied anthropology and having like studied like interviews and shit, like not a lot.
Well, no, I don't. You can list off on a bunch of irrelevant stuff all you want. I'm talking about what research have you done to discuss and have these challenges of what Dylan's doing? Like, what do you know about, the particulars of journalism, the ethics of interviewing people, things like this? What expertise do you have?
I would call myself like 101, right? Like, I have like a very basic understanding of how war journalism should be conducted and how like trauma victims should be interviewed. I've like find the topic fascinating, so I've gone through like a lot of rabbit holes in the topic. But I wouldn't say that my stance on this topic is like some sort of like a hill to die on.
What's that 101 based on? What have you looked at? What have you studied? What have you researched?
I mean, I feel so like I feel like it's a reasonable question for you to ask that, but like I also feel like it's unreasonable in a sense because I have to like dredge up everything, and like I'm not gonna be able to give you like an all-encompassing thing. Like I did study like anthropology at a university, right? And like one thing that we did when we were studying anthropology is talk about interviewing a variety of cultures and interviewing people in war zones and interviewing people who are like, you know, in kind of like an urban setting that is like different, right? So like I have a lot of like, I think that would be like my most academic version of like what my background is. And then on top of that, there's like, you know, just like the content I absorb, which is related to humanitarian stuff. Like just a whole,
I guess if you've got all this knowledge, why are you doing dumb fuck stuff like comparing Iran to the situation of like...
Well, I mean, I didn't necessarily, I wasn't comparing Iran. I was just like discussing like my personal anecdotal experience where I was like, yeah, I was in Iran. I was at the security checkpoint and I didn't realize that I was in like any sort of dangerous situation until the motherfuckers with the AK-47s were like hanging around the car and like looking to search the car, right? Like that was terrifying as fuck because I went from like feeling very, very comfy and being okay to being like, oh shit, this is real. And like, you know, I mean, it was out of my hands. Like my folks needed to do their due diligence, make sure that we weren't taking like a sketchy car to, I think it was like BAM. But either way, it's like a surprise, right? And like my whole point in talking about that anecdotal story is literally just to fucking say like, do your goddamn homework. And the reason why I'm asking these questions is literally to suggest, you know, do your homework. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? I do logistics. Like I did logistics for a living prior to COVID, and I do logistics now, right?
Well, what homework have you done to question Dylan or MrG2ek about this?
And what basically I like looked at what their plans were, and then I did some research in terms of like where people are being housed. I did like not a lot, right? Like the news articles aren't really forthcoming on a lot of that. And I'm looking for like actual stories where people talk about their experiences, right? And like I read the fucking hard to read stories, the ones with like the censorship and all the other stuff that says warning, trigger warning, you don't want to read this, right? So I'm reading about like, you know, people's anecdotal stories of like how they're being housed. A lot of it seems to be apartments. I haven't really read anything about camps. I got that Al Jazeera article that I posted to your chat. And, you know, there's concerns about like you can't have refugees leaving a country and entering a new country and have like the receiving country be fine for an extended period of time. At a certain point, like, you know, you've got millions of people taking up resources that they weren't taking up before, and it impacts the whole of the country, right?
Yeah, but the way you were painting sorry, go on.
Well, I mean, and like this is like, you know, a consistent story that has like gone out throughout time. Like if you read about any war stories at all, there is an impact on refugees entering a country. That's why there's like so much of a fight over illegal immigration in the States here, for example. And there's why there's like so much of a fight over like the Syrian refugees in Europe. Like Poland was claiming 4 or 5 years ago that they couldn't even take any more refugees, right? Like all these countries that are now accepting Ukrainian refugees were denying access to Syrian refugees. We actually see it in the news. So if anybody's saying like, oh yeah, Poland's going to be completely fine, it's not going to have an impact, well, that's bullshit because we literally saw the same countries claiming that they couldn't handle refugees less than a decade ago, right?
Yeah, well, I think that the issue there is there's other reasons that Poland probably didn't want to accept.
Well, okay, we can get into those too for sure. But like, I mean, at the very least, we can take the like national excuse for it and say, okay, well, that national excuse, if still applicable, applies to all these individuals, and it can have an impact on the people in the country. And I doubt that DylanBurns going to Ukraine is going to make someone homeless for a night, especially since they're doing the thing where they spend extra cash to get a room that's like, you know, super lit, right? And like, you know, have the fiber internet and all that other stuff. So I think that part's fine.
Yeah, I just think, you know, you're kind of acting like there's like crazy food crises and shortages and stuff like that over there, and I just don't think that's reflective of reality. I think that Dylan going over, you know, or to talk to people coming from Ukraine about their experiences is not that big a deal. And I have no idea what you're talking about the seat on a plane thing, unless you think a bunch of Ukrainian refugees are going to be flying to America.
That was a allegory referencing Lord Miles, like what he did in Afghanistan. And like I know clearly that when Dylan goes to fucking Poland, it's not going to be a situation where like the last seat out of Poland is DylanBurns, like for sure.
Because the other thing as well is I just don't know, like this Lord Miles guy is a fucking nutter who just rocked up to Afghanistan in its final days of American occupation or whatever you want to call it. So I think Dylan is clearly doing way more due diligence than this guy Lord Miles ever did.
Man, your fucking chat hates me. Jesus fucking Christ.
Don't worry about listen. Chat is going to be frustrated with you, okay? I think there's probably some people that like Dylan and probably some people that disagree. So
yeah, no, they're fucking hilarious. I'm getting a kick out of it. Like this dude is so annoying. Oh, Mr. Geek did want to hop on though.
Sure. Mr. Geek can join, of course. Yeah. Right.
That's the relevant one.
Okay.
It's fucking hilarious.
Mr. Geek, hello.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Mr. G wants in, brother.
Listen, I'm going to be honest, today I'm a little bit tired of all of this shit, all the people virtue signaling about this trip. I'm so done of taking advice from about trauma that like were like, one stream before like talking about like Dylan dead mom. Like, like fuck off with that shit. I'm kind of done with this. I tried to be nice with people. I jumped yesterday and did a little PR exercise, but like I'm so fucking done. Fuck off. Like at some point, like I don't know, like name one fucking world journalist. Name like do you even check this standard for like professional? You don't. No one does. But like when it comes to Dylan, like everyone is jumping on every little detail. The whole stream was, do you have every scenario planned? Of course we don't. No one does.
And no one should have all their shit. Like no one can have all their shit planned in advance. Like I 1000% agree. And like the whole point that I have in talking about it at all is literally, hey, have you thought of this? Hey, have you thought of that? Have you thought of these things? That's it. Like I don't actually have like some sort of grudge. I'm not like trying to like damage your trip. Like if it's not about like that per se for me. Like, and like, honestly, like, I don't know, I haven't talked about this like too much, but when I first saw the tweet, my initial response was to like dig up the connections I had regarding Poland. Like my brother actually had helped his Ukrainian friends find apartments in fucking Poland. Right. So like, I'm happy to even be a point of contact to help facilitate these fucking interviews if I can make it happen. But that doesn't mean that I also don't have the right to ask questions and like about the logistics and stuff. Like I'm going to ask the questions. If you want to tell me to fuck off, that's your right as well. I don't think there's any problem with that. I totally respect that. Like you've got actual planning to do. You're about to go to fucking Poland and you got like actual real work and you don't have to answer all these fucking questions. Abso-fucking-lutely. But I mean, I'm still going to ask them because it's interesting. And on some level it is content. It's absolutely content to explore this topic. I find it very fucking interesting. And they can all fuck off. Anyone who's saying soy in chat can completely fuck off.
Mr. Geek, do you mind if I just ask you a few questions? I'm actually genuinely interested. It's not like I'm trying to catch you out or anything. So yeah, one thing I was interested in, because there's this narrative that I've heard about how you need to be careful of trauma and things like that. Do you know at this point how are you going to find people to speak to about their experiences?
So Dylan got some contact on the ground. Like basically, he spent the last 2 weeks talking to people who are in Poland, who are in Ukraine, who are like in contact with refugees, who are organizing stuff basically to get contact and to make sure that we're doing this in the best circumstances. Yeah. And I know that Dylan likes to like play like the wrestling shit and everything, but he's not a dumb fuck, He's not going to go to someone and say, "Hey, talk to me about your dead family," so I don't know.
Yeah, sure. And this thing about going to Ukraine, I mean, I was just having a look, and it looks like the U.S. State Department and also our government, good thing to go by, are saying like, do not go to Ukraine. I don't know what the situation is. What would the circumstances be with which you would be able to travel to Ukraine, do you think?
Okay, first of all, I advise, like, I'm constantly saying to Dylan that, like, yeah, I don't think it's, like, worth it unless the war stop and everything. But, like,
Yeah.
I think that, like, if it's, like, if we can, like, I'm not going to say one, I mean, there's no guarantee. Like, there's always going to be, like, a risk and a high risk. But, yeah, if we can minimize it to the maximum, basically, if we can, like, make sure that, like, yeah, we're not going to get on a road like with mines or I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he did say in the tweet he was going to be careful. I mean, I presume Dylan has got some sense of self-preservation. I can't imagine he just wants to go in there gung ho and maybe run into a bunch of Russian soldiers and get shot or some shit. Yeah. So.
That'd be really shit. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like
just wanted to answer to Madlad. Yeah, you can have concern and everything, but guess what? Like, people who have concern have reached out to me in private, me or Dylan in private, not on Twitter. Oh. That's the main difference. So after that, you can say it's content and everything, but like in that case, yeah, I agree.
Oh,
but like,
right. But did I reach out to you? Did I like publicly call you guys out on Twitter, or did I like DM Dylan like an offer of resources? Like I did the exact same thing you just suggested, right? Like I was doing a stream about the content. That's legit. But like our Twitter thing was you looking at my Twitter content and saying, "Oh, you're being an asshole."
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at, and like, you know, is that like my intent? Not really. Like, does it sound like I'm being an asshole? If I still am being an asshole, I apologize. But like, you know, I'm still gonna ask the fucking questions.
Okay, first of all, like Dylan talked about this, like even if he said that like he talked about his intent and all of this shit and talked about the big lines, he never went like, I don't know, if tomorrow like Chud say I'm going to do a trip to like the US or some shit like this, and he talks about like his plan and everything, you can guess that there's more behind it, that like we're not going to talk about like every like logistic detail, we're not going to talk about like the contact that we have and all of this shit. Like there are a lot of things, so you're judging based on like really like a little bit, and you spent a lot of time extrapolating about this shit, just like everyone. And again,
well, I mean, I think it's fair. Right, and I'm willing to acknowledge that I had to do a lot of extrapolation without like knowing what plans you guys are offering up. It was mostly an interesting, like my initial take on this was to like, you know, really explore what the differences are. Like what makes a responsible trip and what doesn't, right? Like I just wanted to talk about that, like the philosophical aspects of it. I want to talk about the logistical aspects of it. I wanted to like kind of figure out what questions we should even be asking. And then I really did appreciate you coming on and talking about it. I thought that you actually made it very, very clear what the conversation should be. I thought it was really good. And so like, I don't really think there's like a problem here. Like you're going to go to Poland, hopefully not Ukraine. Lots of people are going to be watching it. At the very least, we've drummed up a lot of hype around the trip one way or the other. Right. And like, you'll get what you want out of it. And then hopefully nothing bad happens. Hopefully all the concerns we talked about regarding like trauma, et cetera, aren't relevant. Right.
I mean, they went through a wall. Like, I don't know.
There was a woman who was interviewed by
like, yesterday I was like thinking about this shit, and like these people went through a fucking war. They had to flee their country and everything. And you really think that like Dylan is like the main concern? That like
no,
the
absolutely
is
not
going to have like any type of impact, like long term or anything? Like,
well, it wouldn't be Dylan being the like it wouldn't be like Dylan haunting them, right? Like I remember there was a panel show where someone was supposed to hop on and talk about their trauma, and they had to piece out in the middle of the show because they couldn't do it, right? And then there was like some hullabaloo about that happening, and it was like really unpleasant for the person and for the host and all this other stuff. And like my point wouldn't be like, hey, DylanBurns is going to show up and he's like a scary fuck. That's not my point. Like I don't think they're gonna be afraid of being backyard wrestled in the fucking apartment building. Like I think like the concern is, can Dylan ask questions or do it in the way that's like not threatening, right? At the end of the day, and like I have no way of knowing. You know better than I do whether Dylan has the capacity for this or not.
And
So,
yeah,
I mean,
so I think that like instead of just speculating on stuff based on little information, it might have been better to wait for the result. I don't know, just a suggestion.
nah, not really, because like I think it's very valid to ask the questions ahead of time so that when we get to a place where the results come in, we can figure out like what mattered and what didn't matter. I think a before and after is totally valid, actually. I know it's I know it's problematic for you, and I'm sorry that it's causing you a lot more stress. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's very valid to be able to talk about this shit and not be like, you know, afraid of folks who are like gonna call me out for asking the questions. Like everybody who's like going on about like, you know, these snowflakes asking these questions are snowflakes in themselves if they can't handle a few simple questions.
It's not problematic for Geek. It's absolute concern trolling when they're trying to do some real shit.
Okay, my question is like, is your concern like really trauma, like the trauma of like Ukrainians? Like, is that like your concern? Is that the thing that like?
So for me specifically, it was like the whole kit and caboodle. Like trauma was something that someone else was talking about that like I was like, oh yeah, that's very important. Put it in the bucket, right? Housing, food, etc., put it in the bucket. Let's actually explore this whole fucking topic and learn something from it. That's my focus.
You can't explore a whole topic, and what you're doing is you're just speculating on random shit.
Why can't we?
With the basis of there are concerns out there. That's your conclusion. You're starting there, and then you're working it backwards. And like, oh, what if there's a pea shortage in Poland at the time, and they won't be able to get food if there's not other food sources available?
I don't know like what you're trying to get at here, but like your point was like completely like not relevant here. Like I'm not just concern trolling. I'm asking like actual
things
questions.
That you're saying are actual questions and shit like that. You're just fishing for.
So you're telling me. So you're telling me
on them. Tell me how you arrived at the. Tell me how you arrived at the plane ticket thing. Then tell me how you arrived at that. If it's not just pure speculation and you trying to walk shit back once you think you have a valid concern.
What plane ticket thing?
Oh, maybe he's going to take up a seat on a plane that would.
I was not. I literally during the video said that it was like something that was not like an
right. You're just fishing. You're just fishing.
No, I'm not fishing.
And then once you think you have like a valid concern, you just walk.
I'm sorry. I'm not done talking. You can interrupt me after I'm done talking. No,
Chud and Geek
I'm not accepting you cutting me
on their
off.
trip. Chud and Geek asked you what research you done on their trip.
I'm sorry. Let me actually finish my point.
Yo.
Coming up with random concerns the whole time.
Sorry, let me finish my point and then you can talk.
I already talked. Now you can finish your point.
Yeah, well, no, I'm sorry, but like I didn't listen to any of the things you just said, so you're gonna have to repeat it.
Everyone else did, and everyone else fucking agrees with me. So now say your shit.
Oh, great. Okay, so no, that's not even the point. Like you're literally trying to start shit because you want to. I don't know why you want to start shit. Actually.
I'm telling you, you should take me out because you're just speculating on random shit you don't know about. You're just in here trying to ad hoc make it sound really good.
So
and it's really not working.
No, I'm not.
It's so transparently clear that you don't know what you're talking about.
Let's let Madlad respond.
I am not actually willing to accept that. I think it's perfectly valid to ask these questions.
But you don't have any ability to actually listen to the criticism. You're just trying to post.
I'm not willing to listen to your shit criticism. MrG2ek actually had valid like things he was talking about.
My criticism is MrG2ek's criticism. It's the same fucking thing.
I'm sorry.
You have concerns from nowhere that are from nothing.
My concerns are directly attached to the idea of going to Poland.
Once you can connect it to it after the fact. First you go, what about the plane ticket? Maybe there's a refugee that's gonna. Oh, what about the Airbnb? Maybe there's background radiation from Chernobyl. Oh, what if Dylan starts to? What if the oven blows up and refugees die? Oh shit, we haven't thought about that yet.
Okay. Like, so I'm trying to engage in this in like a good faith way, right? You're not.
No, you're not. You're doing the exact opposite. If you were, you would listen to Geek's concerns.
You just got on here. Well, let me be very clear with you, Rhyzohm, right now. What you're doing is just fucking brain dead.
No, this is about shit.
It's okay. It's very okay to have fucking criticism on people who have done this poorly in the past, Rhyzohm. He's done this poorly in the past. And because he has done this poorly in the past,
what has he done poorly in the past?
Valid. Maybe you don't know.
No,
but he
can we not?
accused someone of maybe you don't know, but you
we were so fucking close.
He falsely accused
having
someone.
No. I don't want to get into this
now.
I don't want to get into this whatsoever.
This is important.
Okay, I want to get the fuck out before this actually starts. Let's just talk about the important shit first.
And then
we'll talk about the other stuff later. So, like, the important
matters.
So the part that is actually relevant is that, like, I'm asking questions that are interesting about this fucking trip. It's more interesting than fucking
Everyone
figuring
thinks
out.
it's more interesting
It's
how much
more
concern trolling
interesting
you're
than
doing.
actually. No, it's actually more interesting than
At any
fucking
point in
Destiny.
time,
It's more
gotten a pretty
interesting
good
than
point.
covering
Otherwise, we would
random
not have
drama
thought of.
on
Alright,
your fucking
hey.
streams. It's bullshit.
Did you
Geek,
guys
let me
look
ask
into
you a
the fact that
question.
like
Geek, have you taken any notes since Madlad and Whick started telling you what you should be concerned about? Have you written anything down that you need to actually be concerned about?
Right. One actual concern is the embassy. The U.S. embassy has shut down its American like welcoming center, right? Which is actually like a logistical concern, and that's something that you guys might want to plan around. And I would recommend that you probably file a float plan of some kind with the embassy. Keep in touch with them while you're there in case shit goes south, or at least Dylan should, because like there's a number of things that they can do to help you out in case of emergency. You know what I mean? But other than that, like Godspeed, I think you guys are going to be fine. Poland's a fucking like a first world country by all standards. Like, and there's no battle going on there right now. And in fact, there's like 7,000 U.S. Marines there right now doing practice drills and like helping with the refugee situation. And it'd probably be really interesting to talk to some of those guys too.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw the thing about the embassy and all of this shit. I will look into this before we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure,
if you shoot me a DM and or have Dylan, and I have some phone numbers and stuff already lined up for you guys if you want them.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'll reach out to you after that. But I just wanted to go back on one thing. My biggest problem with this shit is that like all of your concern is like, okay, do you know the situation in Poland? Basically, Madlad. What's happening in Poland when it comes to refugee, all of the shit, how they're handled, if there's like refugee camps, if there's like, how it's going.
As far as I know, they are basically turning every available space they have that's not like basically like all cement structures that have space available are being turned into a place for Ukrainians to stay. So like most of the time it's like hotels, like dormitories, et cetera, right? I don't think there's any actual camps in Poland, as far as I can tell. I've done like, the search, like refugee camps Poland, and I haven't seen anything yet. That's not to say that it's exhaustive, but like as far as we know, that's what's going on.
What about food?
In terms of food, as far as I know, there's still plenty of it, but there are like humanitarian supplies coming in like from international sources to help contribute. So like it's probably okay. We don't know. Right? Like everything, it's all about unknowns. At the end of the day, there's like a lot of things we don't know. Like you guys, like as far as like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. We don't know, and that's my main thing. Like you understand that like the starting point, like the information that you have, and like even like where like you guys took like this thing is like there's such a leap that like I don't know how you can cross that. I don't know how you can like have this concern about these trips and say that they're funded, reasonable, or anything.
Well, I mean, you understand that like my concerns about the trip are different from like Whick's concerns about the trip. Like Whick is saying that you shouldn't do it at all.
I know, but
and then my point is,
I want to be clear that
Wait, Madlad was trying to be clear first. We care more about that right now. Let's let Madlad finish his clarity first. Whick,
fair enough.
Okay. Well, I mean, for me, like we have contrasting opinions. My opinion, I'm just going to specify what mine is, which is we should ask questions and then figure out if what logistical concerns can come up, and then see if we're right about it at the end of the day. That's it. Like there's no reason for you to feel attacked. I'm not directly attacking the trip. I'm just questioning everything about it because it's interesting at the end of the day.
It's interesting, but it's not valuable.
Yeah, so most of the refugees are being held in like things like school gymnasiums and like they're inside, they're not in tents, but they're far from being put in hotel rooms too. So like it should be pretty easy to find like centers of or like concentrated areas where the refugees are being kept wherever town you land in. Obviously closer to the border, more you're going to see more people, but they're trying to get everybody bussed and spread out into the country as best they can from everything that I've seen. And like they've got like 2.5 million people showing up is a big fucking deal. So like I don't know what you guys are planning for as far as an itinerary, but like if you probably go as close to the border as possible, you're going to run into a lot more refugees, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dylan like said where we're going basically, but like yeah, we're going to be like, to be honest, we're going to move a lot. So yeah, we're not too far from the border. But I don't know. Like, my main point is just that, like, even with all of this, even if everything you say, there's no point. Like, this is legit taking just one information and speculating one of the worst scenarios for no reason whatsoever. This is the thing that I get the biggest problem with. Whether when it comes, like, I'm just going to address your point, which is more based on like logistic and shit. But like, yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing. I'm sorry, and this is my, like, there's no reason to bring this up. There's like, what if Biden decide to like kill Kamala Harris and like start a dictatorship? This is this kind of like concern.
I don't
Do you think, just real quick,
wait, hold on. Can I just want to direct this. Like, this isn't like, random speculation and like that of that magnitude, right? It's like literally, what should you do when you're planning a trip like this?
Right, and then you start from the fact that there are concerns.
I'm talking to
MrG2ek. Come up with random concerns, and then you walk it back after the fact.
I didn't walk anything back, Mr. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry, Rhyzohm.
I wonder why MrG2ek is saying that yours sounds just as hyperbolic as your point sounds just as hyperbolic as I said.
I'm sorry,
it probably is.
Rhyzohm, shut the fuck up. I'm listening to MrG2ek, and then we can have our thing later.
Let's stop trying to act like a fucking Giga Chat. It's not working. You've been soying out over this whole fucking thing, and nobody has any fucking respect for you right now.
Soy.
You are, dog. You really fucking are.
I've heard more about people not having respect for you than whatever the fuck this chat
so
is
more people. I'm in more people's mouths than you are. That makes a lot of sense.
We don't even know who the fuck you are.
It doesn't matter. I'm not. Well, okay, that's not. I know who Rhyzohm is, and like up until today, I thought we were like
I've never heard of this guy in my life.
Yeah,
but, like,
you,
just whatever. Like, fuck off. Let me talk to MrG2ek, and then we can like sort our shit later. Like, whatever you're doing here is like.
He's the moderator here, dog. I'm in the room for a fucking reason. So go ahead and say what you want to.
Okay. Well, I guess you're. This is when I let the spice out. Like, you're here to start shit. Got it. Okay. Cool.
It hasn't told me to shut the fuck up yet. You're the only one trying to do it.
It's fine. I'm literally trying to have a talk about the topic, not.
So am I, and as soon as I do it, you just say, shut the fuck up,
You're not talking about the topic. You're literally trying to straw man me here. You're trying to say, like...
You're speculating. I'm saying you're speculating. You're trying to tell us your speculation is worthwhile, and you haven't had any actual argument to speak to
also reclassifying my questions as speculation, and like on some level, there is some measure of speculation required to form a question in the first place. However, that's not the fucking point. The point isn't to concern troll. The point is to actually do a deep dive and explore the fucking topic.
Okay, and my point comes back. What meaningful conclusion have we come to from your speculation? No, nothing. Geek has not taken any notes from your conclusion. He just being as concerned about Kamala Harris and fucking Joe Biden becoming dictators.
I hate to tell you this.
What you're talking about.
Wait, hold on, chill.
You're wrong.
I don't need anybody to stand up for me.
If I'm wrong, then answer my own thing. Tell me that I'm wrong and tell me that he's actually coming up with some valid consensus here. What you're doing is not a valuable exercise.
I'm sorry, Rhyzohm. Shut the fuck up for a second. My point here, like just engaging, is just to talk about like what my intent is. And prior to getting on this stream and talking about it, as far as I can tell,
now we're critiquing it.
Rhyzohm, shut the fuck up. I'm not done, homie. Just shut up. My point is that I'm losing my thread of thought. My point is that up until this point, I thought the conversation went particularly well. And I thought MrG2ek enjoyed the conversation and had a lot to walk away with. And if he's going to correct me now, that's absolutely fine. I could be mistaken. I could think that like the links that he got and the things we talked about were not valuable at all. And then fuck it. I guess I was wrong. Absolutely possible. But up until now,
you want to just say that so we can end this? Do you want to just say that the links he's finding aren't valuable at all so we can just end this? Because he doesn't seem to think there's valuable.
What I'm saying, just to clarify, what Rhyzohm was saying was my exercise was completely worthless. And what I was saying is that we had a good talk on my stream. You walked away with some links. I don't know if you're going to use the links or not. But as far as up until now, I thought that everything was like pretty good. And we all both walked away with some stuff. That's it.
So I guess the question is it valuable or not? Geek, what do you think?
At the end of the day, for our situation, no. Because, like, yeah, we're not going to do this shit. We're not going to bring up, like, any of the, like, we're not going to go even close from trauma. Like, this isn't, like, a concern. Like, I don't know. It's people who went through fucking war, and you're telling me that like what's going to make them snap is literally like fucking like DylanBurns asking them.
I don't know, but I'd be really excited.
That's my problem.
Right. Yeah, and that's fine. Like my point here is that I'll be very curious to see like what holds water after you come back. Then that's absolutely fine. I'm still pretty content asking the questions. I think it was like at least engaging. And
let's let Whick get in. Let's let Whick get in.
Yeah, can I just say that to act as if speculating about an issue and asking questions, say, have you thought of this? That there is no value in that, I think is wild.
He just heard that it has no value. He just said it has no value.
Asking this question definitely.
That's who you wanted it to have value to. You said you were so concerned about Dylan's well-being and shit. What are you talking about? Holy fuck!
But Whick,
maybe you should start saying something that makes sense. Then
you're really good at talking shit. No, I mean you're really good at talking shit. Yeah, but like we're not gonna have a chance to actually have an engaging conversation.
You can't even fucking listen to the point, dude.
To be fucking honest.
No, it's not worth the effort.
Right, come on. Let's let Whick get in. Let's let Whick get in. Come on.
Again, there's. Let's not pretend like us having a stream or popping off on Twitter and say, hey, we think that maybe you haven't thought this through quite as much as you should have, is somehow like this terrible thing that we should never do. My God.
True, Whick, but
this isn't speculating. This isn't speculating.
The bias in the advice that you're giving and the tone that you're using to give the advice, you know what I mean? Like the entire thing like reeks.
I'll admit I'm fucking biased on this. I do not think Dylan will do a good job because he's done
the criticism that we're giving you now is that your bias is preventing this from being in any way effective. Like you're not wrong that objectively what you're trying to accomplish is probably correct. However, like the way that you're going about it is ineffective.
And that's fair criticism. It's fair criticism to say I could have done this better. 100%. I can and will in the future criticize this better. But that's not what Rhyzohm is saying. Rhyzohm is saying that any criticism whatsoever, any type of
I don't think he's saying that. I think
that is what he just said.
Stop these people to be clear, do something that is like a good thing. Like I think that this is going to be a good exercise for DylanBurns. It's going to be a good exercise for MrG2ek. It's going to be a good exercise for the information in the community. I think it's like I don't think there's anything wrong here. Obviously, they need to have their wits about them. They need to do some more research, and there's some unknowns still. But like they're very, very minimal. And like we're talking about traveling to a fucking European country that's not like in any way.
They're also talking about going to Ukraine. That is also a stated goal of theirs.
Yeah, I mean, more power to them. Just don't get conscripted while you're there. That's my advice.
Good luck. So anyway, I don't know if we'll actually have like anything productive if there's like someone here who's specifically here to let the spice out. So I need a dip. I've got a few other things to do. But thanks for having me on, Chud. Good talking to everyone. And Godspeed, etc., etc. Take care.
Bye-bye.
This isn't criticism. Criticism is based on reality. No, you don't know shit. This was my problem. This is why I jumped in, and this is why you only had question, because if you were continuing, this was just speculation, because you don't know shit. You don't know what we've been doing since like we decided to go to Poland. You don't know. That's the thing. Dylan just said like we're going to Poland basically. He talked a little bit, and like based on like the little that he shared, you based on the whole thing. You based like the logistic and all of the shit. And I'm sorry, but like again, like fuck, it's not even a question of like uptake and like not coming at it like the right way. I'm never going to believe that the guy who brought up Dylan dead mom like on stream is
I didn't bring up his dead mom. He brought up his dead mom.
He brought it up and
yes,
you jumped
he brought
on
it up
it.
4 fucking points.
You jumped on it. You jumped on it. And after that, you pretend to give a shit about Choba. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it, dude. But at the end of the day, to act and to pretend that asking questions when someone says something like, I'm going to Ukraine and to Poland to interview war refugees, to not have questions, to say, hey, have you done this before? Hey, like, because you're right. I don't know, but how the fuck do you think I'm going to know without asking questions?
Why the fuck does anyone value your fucking input? They're gonna look for other people.
Real quick, Chud, can you pull up the tweet and show me if there's any question in it? Just one.
This just reeks of you
nothing.
like trying to steal their clout, like because they were getting some notoriety for going to do a big
If I
thing.
wanted to steal clout, I would have asked to stream these things. I would have been on here talking about it on my stream. I am not. I'm not.
Well,
the only reason I'm talking about this, is because Dylan called me bad faith on Twitter, and I responded with a very spicy take. Yes.
Okay. Well,
and then he invited me on his stream, and now we're doing the whole content farming thing with the
Wick, if you had a point, we would be sitting here going, "Oh, thank God Whick is around to bring in these genuine concerns that no one in their right mind could have fucking thought of without his genius." But instead, we're sitting here saying, "You're purely speculating. It's not valuable. Take the fucking feedback. Stop digging your heels in. You've come across like a smug asshole who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about
I don't really care how I come across.
I really
don't care how I come across, dude. Like I'm not like
because you're actually concerned about people's well-being. So yeah, okay.
You don't have to listen to it. I mean, you can fucking tune out right now. That's fine. But you came in here to start shit, to farm drama, and to do that. And that's fine. You're a Twitch streamer. I get it. There's nothing inherently wrong with it.
Because nothing I'm saying holds any water. You literally can't address my points. You literally can't address my points. You think you have a fucking...
And yes,
you think you just have
I may not have asked
being like, yeah, you're here to farm drama.
But I definitely ask questions to you, MrG2ek. I definitely ask questions directly to you.
Yeah, because I jumped on stream because you knew nothing. Like you both were like talking about stuff you know absolutely nothing about, and I was triggered watching you talk about shit, like speculating about problem that, like, again, this is on the same level that, like, what if Biden killed like fucking like?
It is not simply asking, hey, do you have fucking interpreters? It's not the same. And to pretend like it is,
you don't know what we're bringing. You don't know the prep work we did. You don't know nothing.
Look, to ask a question of someone who is admittedly not a journalist, who admits that they don't have these... I fucking asked your question on your fucking on the stream of Madlad. We all saw these questions. Why are you trying to pretend that I have not done this? Why are you trying to pretend what just happened? Chud just went over. Why are you trying to pretend? Why are you trying to pretend that didn't happen?
Where are the question that you asked to Dylan? Where did you
I asked you because you came on.
Yes.
Because you came on. You came on to the stream. You asked questions. Answer our questions. It was fine. That's okay. Like, it was fine. I thought we had a very productive conversation afterwards as well.
No, this was just me exercising PR, just like answering concern with nothing. I answered nothing. I just said we got contact, and I was having fun with this because you two are fucking like amazing. You brought up Dylan's dead mom, and you pretend to give a shit about
I did not bring up his mother.
He
brought up his mother.
Same thing. He brought up his mother.
He brought him up
to make a buzz.
You jumped you smiling right now, Whick, is so fucked up. The fact that I can hear a smile behind your voice, that really shows your true concern, doesn't it?
This is funny because you guys are being so bad faith right now, so silly, and you just don't understand. Like to question the value of like people asking questions about when someone brings up.
You didn't ask question.
Again,
this shit.
Do you not think? Did I not ask the question?
Because you called Dylan bad faith from the get-go.
Yes, because I believe he's being bad faith. I do not believe. And that I do not believe
on stream.
He's going to do
That's when I jumped in, and that's when you start asking questions.
Why are you guys so concerned about what I believe he's going to do a good job? Like, really? Why are you so upset that I don't think he's going to do a good job? Because he's done poorly in the past. He's done poorly in the past.
I mean, I would
because he's done poorly in the past. I think it's valid to be concerned that maybe, just maybe, he'll do poorly in the future.
I mean, I just don't understand why that's a concern at all.
Has he done poorly in the past? What refugee interview has he done poorly in the past?
It's not about refugee interviews. It's about getting his facts wrong.
He's gonna do fine, and it's not gonna be. He's not gonna do perfect, and he's gonna have some fucking things to learn.
Well,
that's
again, I don't require perfection here.
Of course you don't. Of course you don't. But you don't require anything. That's the thing. Is like you're kind of like irrelevant to the whole operation.
Well, yes, of course. I cannot say. I do not get to decide whether he goes.
Well, I mean,
I do get to decide.
Is because like it seems like you're saying now that you're overtly trying to discourage them from doing something for whatever reason, and I don't think that there's any reason for you to be doing that. Like, I wish you would stop. I think it's good that they're doing it. I think that they should be doing it. I think the larger, broader community agrees, and so like you know.
Well, I just disagree. I do not
trying to discourage them by like fucking psyching them out with all these fucking imagined problems is just like a really fucking silly thing to do.
Well, again, we just have a fundamental disagreement here. I do not think that it's a good idea for him to be doing this. I think it's a good idea that people are letting these stories be heard. That's a good idea. But it's not like it's not going to fucking happen if he doesn't go. Like, it's not like Dylan's going to save us fucking all by going there and getting the story that no one else can.
But he's going to go there and he's going to be a representative of the Twitch politics community for one thing. And for two things, I think he's going to do a bang up job. And for three things, like, where are you seeing this content? Who's interviewing these people? Where are you finding these interviews?
Wait, you don't think that this interview is being done?
No, I mean, I think that maybe they are being done, but I think they're largely being done by countries that are not English speaking, and they're not being put like forefront in our media because I can't find them even when I'm searching for them.
I have a question, real quick.
Sure.
I don't know if it was yesterday, like when we were basically when we were talking during Dylan's stream, but you say that you tend to agree with Dylan's opinion when it comes to foreign policy and shit, right?
Yes. Like I said, I don't think I'm not criticizing.
He fucked up in the past. He's unreliable.
Yes, with the whole drama that he started with the false accusation.
So just for drama, not for his content on foreign policy. So we agree on that. Yeah, no, that's.
Well, I mean, I don't know his full foreign policy takes, but I don't think it's a bad thing if I say, hey, when you've reported on things in the past that were fucking wrong and you had to walk it all back, maybe I should be concerned and have a little concern about how you're going to report on things in the future.
Yeah, but Dylan's a young guy, and he's and everybody's kind of new in this space. Like there's really no wrong way to do this yet, right? Well, unless you do what Destiny did, but I mean, other than that, there's no really wrong way to do this. And I think he's gonna go out there and fucking maybe make some mistakes, but probably do mostly good and probably do a hell of a lot better the next time he goes somewhere and does something like this.
Again, I just do not trust that. I could be wrong though. But that's just that is speculation on my part. I just don't think he's going to do a good job. But that's just me not liking Dylan, and I recognize.
Put your money where your mouth is. You want to bet $100?
No, I don't have money to bet. I try not to gamble. So.
Okay, damn. I'm glad we sorted that out. I'm glad I could be the place to bring peace.
I'm more angry that people are upset that. People are questioning Dylan now. Now I am. Like before I wasn't, but now I'm like, wow, is this really a thing?
Needlessly. I'm upset because you're not questioning Dylan. You're just attacking on nothing.
You can question Dylan all day long. I just it really reeks of bad faith. That's why I'm in here because I just don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair criticism.
If someone I don't like does something good, I'm like, hey, good for them. Fuck me for not having the idea. I'm not going to fucking shit on them constantly. What the fuck is this?
I don't think it's a good.
I don't.
Like I said, I don't think Madlad should do it. I don't think Revolt Rise should do it. I don't think Rhyzohm should do it. I don't think Chud Logic should do it. I don't think Twitch streamers should do this. I think it should be done by journalistic people who are journalists.
But it's not being done. Why? It's largely not being done though.
Why?
I disagree. I think there are plenty of reporters on the ground.
I'd like link me some of your sources when we get out of here. I'd love to see them because I haven't seen them.
Okay, why is it important to have professional? Why do you make the what's the distinction between streamer and prof?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have interrupted you. Finish your statement.
No. What's the difference?
I just didn't hear it. That's what I'm asking.
What's the difference for you between streamers, basically, and professional journalists? What do you think?
The cost of
expertise, experience, things like that. Yeah.
Experience, I agree. Expertise, to ask questions, sure, but with trauma, not really. They have a job to do, which is to get their story. They do it, and they get the fuck out. You think that there's a therapist
hiding
in the background that you never see? Do you see that they come with a counselor?
Well,
they have
again, Amanda Smash should be the one to talk to about that. No. She's the expert on that, but she can tell her own story if she wishes. But yeah, I think that exactly that a lot of times these journalists do have trauma experts on hand. I think that's exactly it. I think that happens a lot of times. Obviously not all the time, but yeah, that is a thing that happens.
So I don't know why what's this person's expertise? You said they got expertise.
They again, it's not my story to tell, but they've been interviewed for their trauma in the past, and so they know how it kind of works. And Madlad's back in the green room, so.
I mean, that's experience, not expertise, though, right?
Oh, fair enough. But she did link the sources on the studies about. Was it a study or was it like a tip thing? But she did link a source about it, which was written by experts. So.
At Whick, you don't give a shit about
just real quick, sorry, I just wanted to interject two things. First of all, if there's any one person I trust to go to Poland to do anything, it's fucking Revolt Rise. Straight up, like, that motherfucker knows all the shit that is needed to do anything out in the like wilds of anywhere. Second of all, Mr. Geek, I sent you a DM regarding an interview, actually. That was what I actually had to go and check on. So if you want to just respond to the DM, we'll be Gucci.
Sure.
Cool. All right. Bye.
Bye. Right, where are we? Is there anything else to hash out? I think we fixed everything. Everyone's friends again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some work to do, but that was fun. Subscribe to Chud, people, and yeah, I'm out.
Let's see some fuckwicks in chat.
Yeah, some fuckwicks in chat. Go ahead. I will allow it there. We have emails for it. But anyway, thank you for having me on, and I appreciate you giving a space to actually talk about this.
No worries.
I do enjoy it. And Rhyzohm, fuck you. You're a fucking nerd.
Cool. Yeah, fuck you too. Bye.
Love you, Rhyzohm.
Listen, thanks for coming on.
Guys.
Appreciate it.
Hey, yeah.
Bye.
See you, Chud.
See you. Bye-bye. Oh my god, that was fucking... How do I do it? I can't keep getting away with it. I can't keep getting away with it. Jesus. I'm literally just chilling and all of a sudden I've got content happening. I can't keep getting away with it. Have we seen enough of it? Well, there's only another, what, 10 minutes left. I might as well watch the end of this.
Some cost fallacy will not just serve you.
Anyway, look, we've hit the psych system generosity. We've hit the bits goal. We've hit the donor goal. We need 13 subs. So if anyone's got any subs knocking about they want to give away, give them to me. Also, the other thing as well, thank you for helping DK. DK's probably rubbing his hands together looking at that slice of content. You need 13 subs.
Here and deciding whether to go on the trip or not, but like if you're in Poland and approaching that border to Ukraine, thinking, we got all the way over here, let's cross. Like, remember the sunk cost
fallacy.
Might as well go
through with it.
No. Like, sunk cost fallacy is a thing that definitely trips people up, based on the memoirs that I've read, at least.
No.
I love the fact MrG2ek was just like, it was just PR. It was just PR.
Like, yeah, no.
Oh.
Like the main goal of this trip was like
Dylan
didn't say like I'm going to Ukraine. He said I'm going to Poland. The goal and the focus is like basically like covering like covering like getting like a refugee story basically like covering like what's happening like them like covering the damage of war basically all of this shit because interviewing people who experienced it firsthand. Like that's
hey, Miss Mortician, thanks for the subs. We're nearly there.
So yeah, there's not really this like we're gonna like now that we're here, might as well go to Ukraine. No, like we're not like yeah.
I mean, right for sure.
Oh my god, 10 gifted from Revolt Rise. Thank you. That's super generous. Thank you, mate. And you gave me 1,000 bits earlier. Thank you. Appreciate you. Someone give MrG2ek a sub.
I don't know. This is in contrast to what Dylan has said on his
Welcome to
Twitter
Chud
and on his
Nation.
stream. That he wants
Ranger
to.
and Rogue gifted a tier 1 sub to
He wants to.
Of course. So he's going to try to.
Welcome
No.
to Chud
You don't think he's
Nation.
going to try to?
Well, I mean,
he's going to try to some extent. If there's report that like Lviv is getting bombed or shit or like the risk of like
Welcome
that like there's a threat more than usual. Yeah, like I will be like if Dylan doesn't back down, I will like literally like go bonk him on the head, tie him into a closet and everything.
But so like we said this earlier though, like once you cross that border, there are no more guarantees. So even if people are saying it's safe as a button right now, there's no guarantees at that, and the risk goes up exponentially. And again, we put ourselves in these situations at our peril and at the peril of those around us. And that, yes, I have very, very large concerns, and they are not like. Look, let's be clear. He doesn't need my permission to do any of his shit. He doesn't at all. He doesn't need anyone's permission. He's a free agent. He can do what he says or what he wants. But at the end of the day, it might be wise to, instead of just rejecting criticism out of hand and doing a stream like, haha, look at this criticism, look at this criticism, look at this criticism, maybe take him seriously. maybe take him serious. That's all.
That's what I did.
If he didn't like my
That's what I
attack,
did.
cool. We can have beef another time. We can have beef anytime you want.
Nation.
But
Hey,
the
Big Dog Fudge,
criticisms
thanks
being
for the
leveled
sub.
against this are valid and they're worth considering.
Okay, but do you understand that, like, if I come to you and I say, "Hey, Whick, you fucking disgusting piece of shit."
The trouble, the biggest problem I've got with all of this is like if there was someone who was like knowledgeable about conflict, like I don't know, like refugees and talking about this stuff and journalism and all this shit, and they were like, look, here's some genuine concerns, and it was all based on like a research standard of what the deal is with it all, I'd be like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty legit. Like Revolt Rise's criticism seemed pretty spot on. Revolt Rise is a bit of a mystery to me, to be honest. But yeah, he had like a genuine good insight. I think there are some insights you can make, but when the insights are just like, they don't seem to be substantive, it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. What can you really say?
I have some criticism for you. Like,
Yo, have you seen my emotes? Have you seen my emotes? Like literally my emotes are fuck Whick because it's a thing that people do. This happens all the time. It's called being a little mature to see through that. Now, again, my beef with him, and I'll drop it after this, but my beef with him is legitimate. I stand by every single thing I said, okay? I think he's a scum. But that is beside the point, because even someone I thought is great, like Madlad, I would levy the same criticisms against. Like, dude, think it through.
And I appreciate that. And I know you're sincere in your critiques, based on like the arguments we've had over a variety of things. Sorry, you piece of shit. I have advice for you things. Sorry, that's just too fucking funny. And then also, just one more meme. I got like this vision of like Haas and DylanBurns like deciding the conflict.
Thanks for the bits.
Like they're like fighting.
Oh, the champions, like
the
champions,
And like Haas is wearing like a Russia flag, and then DylanBurns is just like staying there bare chested on like rubble ruins, like anime style, like having.
It'd be a great story. It'd be a great story.
We could write.
It'd be horrific.
What's this? Nobody giving DylanBurns TV credit for all the people in the US who will get extra food during this global food shortage while he's abroad. Great point.
Happen in real life. But
I kind of want fan fiction. Like this is like an actual call out to anybody listening. I want DylanBurns versus Haas fan fiction, like settling like disputes, like anything. All right.
That would be amazing. Yeah, let's.
I think we've like.
Also, can we listen, I see the person's in chat. Can we stop this? Oh, I've had something happen to me, therefore I've got some level of expertise in it, okay? Just because you've got experience of something doesn't mean you have expertise in that thing, right? Just because you've been treated for cancer doesn't mean you're an expert in cancer treatment. Like, Jesus Christ. What the fuck was that about?
Like get into it. I feel like we hit bedrock on some level. I'd be happy to talk more, but I'm not sure what else to like kind of engage with.
I've made my points, I think, and I think I've gotten them there in a cogent manner. At the end of the day, it's his choice. I can only express my concerns, but I'm free to do so in any manner I choose. And I chose to do it that way because I don't like it.
That being said, I would like to have a combo with you on our stream. I don't really care, but like, yeah.
Whichever you're more comfortable with. I think that some things can be dealt with in private. I don't want to farm this for content. I hesitated to go on his stream even because I don't want to turn this into a content machine. I see this too often happen. Like we fucking drama farmers. But I do recognize that there is a conversation to be had, and if you'd like to do that off stream or on, your choice. Whenever anyone is free to talk with me, and anyone is free to disagree with me as strenuously as they wish.
We are notifying you that he has listed you as an emergency contact.
I was not. Well, like I said, I'm not going to try to turn this into content. But I did say I would come onto your. I did say I would come onto your show, and so I came onto your show.
Fair enough. I mean, it is
into extraditing him to Hong Kong.
I think it's very important when we're talking about like content. Like I've definitely like rolled dice when I've like done content before, right? Like what was it like? 2.5 months ago, I had the interview about like boundaries with Anna, right? Or like the political shit show panel that like that whatever. Like I definitely have rolled the dice in the past. I think what makes a conversation valuable is like if like some form of understanding and nuance has like been put into the situation. I think we got there today. We like actually discovered like serious things to like discuss and think about. And I think there's gonna be a lot more discussion about it. And I think it's good. So I don't know. I think that we're not necessarily we're not farming content. I think we're generating like real, good, serious content.
This is yes. I think this is. I think that's why I agreed to come on your panel, Madlad, because I think we are discussing actual issues.
Yeah, absolutely amazing insights. Like, what if they run out of food because you're over there? Fantastic, phenomenal. And also, yeah, if you go into an active war zone, there might be in some danger. Oh wait, what? This is new information to me.
Yeah. So I'm trying to figure out who to rate out to. Is basically where I'm at right now because I'm very happy with the conversation. I would go back to Dylan, although he's changed his like topic. Erudite is interviewing Joe Lewis. I want someone who's talking about.
Erudite's really cool. If you want someone that doesn't have a lot of viewers, Gerthart, Stealthy Rascal, Jane the Message.
Who the fuck are these people? Stealthy Rascal. Who the fuck's that? Anyway, looks like they're gonna rate out. Okay, all it is these people don't get it. I don't think they've not got the cynicism, the rugged cynicism that I've got now, thinking any of this shit matters in the grand scheme of things. Ironically, actually going to Ukraine and going to Poland and talking to Ukrainian refugees is in a single swipe probably more meaningful than most of the shit that happens on Twitch politics normally. Oh, I enjoyed that.